Now it's time for TIPisodes with quick tips you should know. Techniques you can implement into your workflow right here on A Tale, oh yeah, A Tale of Two Hygienists.
My name is Edward Thomas, and I'm with Cary Gahm, and we're the co-founders and co-CEOs of TempMee. And really what we want to talk about right now is, say you just graduated from hygiene school, what's next? This is something that Cary has been passionate about since before the app even hit the market, that this was the greatest tool that a new hygienist could have in their pocket, and he had a lot of ideas of how to utilize that. So Cary, would you share some thoughts that you've had with us as to why this is the best thing a hygienist can have in their hands when they've just graduated? What were your thoughts on that?
And that's actually a great question. And I think it's massively important. So because all these dental hygienists who are just graduating from school and they put in so many hours and so much money of their life, they're looking for an opportunity to find the best possible job out there, I believe. And I think it's massively important. I mean, as working professionals, we spend over 80,000 hours of our lives working. 1/3 of our life actually is spent at work and half of our waking hours. I mean, to not find the perfect job just seems crazy to me.
It really does. And I got to tell you, all those numbers seem a lot longer when you're in a really, really bad job. So what are some reasons that you think that you'd want to be exposed to what else is out there when you're first getting your first job out of hygiene school? You just graduated, Cary. What are your other thoughts around that?
Well, I know when I first graduated from college, I didn't even know what was out there. I mean, every registered dental hygienist understands that they want to be a hygienist or they're looking for a hygienist type job. But I don't think they always understand the differences from one office to another. And this is massively important because every dental office out there, or many of them, they use different dental softwares. They have extremely different office cultures, and they even do different procedures and techniques. And so if you don't look around and see what's out there, you kind of get the idea that you're comparing apples to apples when often it's apples to oranges.
I think you're completely right. And that's even looking at some of the lower level stuff, the more nitty gritty details. What you've always preached and what you thought was the greatest thing is, if you just graduated from hygiene school and you wanted to go to a big city, you had the opportunity to look at what options were there. The office may have a different culture. The office may have a different feel. Heck, you may be able to work a few stones throw away from the office. You have an apartment, you're a pedestrian, you walk to work, or you may be one of those people that's passionate in your state and they want to live a little bit more remotely. Being able to decide what that culture looks like, not just the culture in the office, not just how does the dentist act, how do they talk, are they fast-paced, are they slow-paced, but even being able to pick some nuanced things like where do I want to live. Those were super important when you've always talked about what it looks like to find your perfect job.
Absolutely. I think the key is to start with the end in mind. I recommend that any dental hygienist sits down and actually thinks about the big questions. I guess question number one is, where do I want to work? I mean, do I want to work in the city where I went to school? Do I want to work in the city where I grew up? Or do I want to work somewhere completely different? Obviously, as a hygienist, you need to be licensed, so you take that into consideration. But by thinking about where you want to work, now you can start looking at areas. The second part is, let's say you decided, hey, I want to work in a big city. I want to work in Miami. I'm licensed in Florida to work, or I want to work in Tampa, whatever it is. Then the second question is, how close to work do you want to be? This blew me away, but when I learned that there's 12.5 times as many dental offices as there are Starbucks, I had this realization. That is, every single morning when I get a coffee, if I look around, there's 12.5 dental offices within my line of sight. That means for most hygienists, I know they pass 3 to 4 to 5 Starbucks on the way to work. They're passing 60 offices that could be closer to them. So before we even start talking about money or benefits or any of that stuff, the question is, how far do you want to drive to work? The second thing is after location and how far you want to commute, I'd start actually thinking about how much do you want to earn? Interesting statistic that we've seen out there is that second and third year hygienists are actually making significantly less than first year hygienists right now. And that's many things obviously play into that, the rising wages and actually inflation of the whole country. But in general, knowing that the way to actually find a job that pays you what you deserve is to actually understand what's out there in the market. And a huge recommendation I have is that on the TempMee app and in the TempMee platform, it is possible to see every single shift that is available through the software and through the temping platform, and every permanent shift that's out there in your areas. I know a lot of hygienists who don't even use TempMee to actually pick up shifts, do use it to learn about the industry. They use it to figure out what the going rates are, what the going hourly shifts are, and really what's industry standard so they can determine what they're worth.
And that's so funny. That reminds me of one of my favorite conversations I saw you have with a young hygienist at a trade show. We were walking around, and the question was, Cary, are you telling me that I should absolutely temp on the TempMee platform? And you said, hold on, I never said that. What I said was, you need to decide what you want from your structure of your work. Do you want it to be full-time? Do you want to go into a full office? Do you want to temp for a while and then learn what the culture is like in certain offices? Or do you want to go part-time and temp or pick up work on the other share of the time? And he said the most important thing is decide what you want, because you have the opportunity to do that. And now I will suggest you don't have to temp on the TempMee platform to want to get onto the TempMee platform. You said structuring your workday, your work life, your balance is one of the most important things that you want to do. And we actually have an opportunity for you to do that. You can do full-time, go work somewhere. You can do part-time, work there, and just like working there and have some work-life balance. Work part-time and only pick up shifts if you want it. I thought that was wildly good advice, where they are now, for the first time in a very, very long time, the folks that are really in control of setting their own schedule and their work structure. What you talked about really was increased, incredible flexibility, massive variety, right? Work as a temp will allow you to experience different offices, cultures, practices, new people, which was one of my favorite things that you talked about. Most people don't leave jobs because of pay. They don't leave jobs because of the commute. They leave it because they don't like the people they work with. And during an interview, everybody's on their best behavior. So why wouldn't you want to go into office a few times to feel out if you actually do mesh with those people? And then really, it's that networking opportunity. As a young professional, you've always told me in any industry, hygiene, sales, marketing, as a young professional, build out that professional network. You always tell me you're the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. So why wouldn't you want to find those people that you want to add to your network with intentionality? You want to be around people that are positive, that are passionate about patients, that are passionate about continuing education. It's really hard to do that by just passing an office or looking at a job ad on Indeed. You've always preached to me to build out your network. So I think that's super important as hygienists are coming out of school. What's the kind of network that you want to surround yourself professionally? And of course, you nailed it. Who doesn't? I don't work for free. You don't work for free. Cass works so much sometimes it feels like she's working for free. But make sure you're getting the pay that you're passionate about and you deserve. You're no longer in a position where you have to take the first offer. You've always encouraged me to negotiate, be mindful of what it's going to take for you to earn the income that you want.
That's such a good point, Ed. And it's going to be one of the last points that we make. But when you're out there and you're checking out these jobs, whether you're temping or whether you're at a few interviews, one of the most important things is to ask about the pay. What do you pay per hour? What's the salary? It's massively important to ask about signing bonuses. Signing bonuses are a huge thing in the market today. It's important to ask about benefits, whether it be health or other paid time off type benefits. And then it's also important to ask kind of what your long-term future with the company actually is. And one thing that I've learned with over 20 years in business is that the people who ask for a raise are typically the people who get it. And so one of the things that I encourage everyone is to see what's going in the market and ask for what you want. The worst people can say is no. And so I think one of the most important things is the better you know the market, the better you know the offices, the better you know the location, the better you know the going pay, the better chance you have at finding the perfect job for you. And we went through all of this because there's many ways to do it, but beyond a shadow of a doubt, I believe the best way to do that is through using the TempMee app. TempMee is a web and mobile platform that connects dental offices with licensed dental professionals to find temporary or permanent work. It's a place where you can go and see all the open opportunities to temp in your area. And with a simple click of a button, you can pick up a shift. With a simple click of a button, you can book out your schedule. And we believe beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is no more important tool in a young hygienist or any hygienist tool belt than the app, the TempMee app on their phone. And you can pick up the TempMee app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So I'm just so excited that we got a chance to share some of this. I really hope that the hygienists at home are listening and can go out and find those perfect jobs for them. And if you have any questions or need any help, TempMee is here for you. Reach out to our customer success, reach out to our customer service, and we're excited to help you find your new place.
And let us help you help us change the way the world works.
A tale of two hygienists.